But we also have a lot of parents who are driving their kids to and from places such as school, soccer practice, et cetera, et cetera. So we try to set the standard in a way that adults can still be entertained, but it's nothing that's going to really offend the children. Now, that being said, there are different perspectives on music and some of the stuff our kids listen to. Do we know really what the lyrics are saying? And even if they are questionable, are they still providing, what kind of a experience are they providing for your children, positive or negative? There's a new podcast that has premiered on our website, hometownstation.com. It's called Parents in the Mix. And the two hosts of the show are in the studio with me, Billy and Ebony Johnson. Good morning.
Good morning, George. Good morning. We're really happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Now, you have a lot of experience in music journalism and in music in general, and you're bringing that experience to this podcast in an effort to educate parents on music and lyrics, especially for some of the most recent pop songs, right?
Absolutely. So I've been a music journalist, it's crazy to say, but for 25 years. So my work has appeared in the Entertainment Weekly, Hollywood Reporter, Vibe magazine, and for the last 17 years, I've been an editor at a music site. And I found that when talking to parents about the lyrical content in songs, sometimes even very popular songs, like they often weren't aware of the lyrical content. So I often find myself explaining the backstories and interpreting the lyrics, and parents are always kind of sort of like, really? I didn't know that. And I thought we should do this on a platform. And I thought Ebony would be great to do this show with, because as a mother, she's very concerned. She's a lot more strict than I am.
Absolutely.
And we're parents. And so, I think it's a great, fun conversation.
And this is fascinating. We were talking off the air because I think it's like Taylor Swift as being relatively innocuous. And yet you don't necessarily think about maybe, especially her demographic, and again, taking the art out of the whole thing, but her target are teenage and preteen aged girls.
Absolutely.
And so we talk about the message she's sending you. We're talking about sneaking off with the bad boy.
Yeah, so Taylor Swift, I consider her to be pretty safe. She talks about relationships a lot, and I think she's found a safe way to talk about it. But on this new record, 1989, and we do talk about this on the first episode that premieres today, that she has this song called Wildest Dreams, and it's all about sneaking off with a bad boy. And so it's not a single, it's an album track, but I think parents, who have tweens that are loving Taylor Swift, they should at least be aware that there's such a song on a Taylor Swift record.
And that's important, especially for that age group, because we don't think, especially at my age, and I've never had any teenage girls, so I don't know how that's affecting or what that's going to really put forth as an example. And you think, you say you've been in the industry 25 years, so it doesn't, I can't imagine, you say that. But we've been around in the days of growing up where there really wasn't any type of reference for parents to go to. They trusted that music was going to be safe, and growing up, music got a little bit, I would say, at least more socially conscious, and in some
Right.
cases, very, very, very raunchy. From a standard.
Yeah, because I think we're growing up, and Ebony could speak to this too. There are a lot more innuendos that weren't necessarily in your face, like the adults could interpret it. I think back to some of my favorite songs on like a Prince record that, and it wasn't necessarily even in my face. But today the language is so graphic, even on the songs that make it onto their airwaves. So it's crazy. Even with the bleeps, it's still too much.
Exactly. Now, Ebony, from that perspective, taking it from a mom's perspective, do you have is there a lower threshold that you have for what you would let or what you would consider allowing children to listen to, or when you're maybe perhaps talking to parents about that, or
Absolutely. From my perspective, I definitely think you have to monitor what your kids are listening to. I think I probably am a little bit too conservative in some ways with that, because I don't want to listen to certain radio stations, or if I hear a certain song, I'm very quick to just change the channel very quickly. And some would have issue with that as well, because you want to make sure your children have some kind of knowledge, for the world, because you want them to be well-rounded adults also. So you have to balance, the appropriateness with making sure that they have the information that they need to be able to formulate their own opinions about things also. But definitely, I remember when I was younger, definitely sitting with my parents and my brother and listening music in the car together. And watching programs on television together. And that is more of a challenge now as we listen to the music, because there's so many things that are so inappropriate for children today, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. And in terms of just a regular, previously safe family experience, like Rihanna just performed her new song "Blank Better Have My Money." She performed it on an award show that was broadcast on TV, and I watched the online, the East Coast feed, so maybe it was bleeped what actually aired on television, but she said the B word like 80 times on, for a televised show, and that's today.
Yeah, and you're talking about that innuendo. I mean, there were songs that got more graphic, at least verbally graphic, but growing as a teenager, like the punk movement, for example, but those did not get any airplay whatsoever, and you had to hunt them down. In this case, and what you're talking about now is it's become so commonplace.
Totally.
And you're right, whether it bleeps out or not. I mean, there are things that even that we play that context-wise we have to consider. Is that even a remote word that could be misinterpreted by a parent?
Right.
And that's true, and that's become the norm. And do you see that as becoming more problematic, especially with young people who might not be able to understand?
I do, and also I think I consider the fact that kids are wearing headphones. So I remember, my best friend as a kid, he would play this rock music really loud. And so, there's that notion of the parents walking past the room. What are you listening to? Well, now kids have on headphones. And so your child could actually be sitting next to you listening to graphic music, and you're not aware because they have on a headphone. You could all be in the car, and a child could be in the back seat with the headphones listening to something totally different. So it's more so not to tell people what they should allow their kids to listen to, but at least make them aware of what their kids are
awareness
listening
out
to.
there. Perfect.
And also, to piggyback on that, I mean, to the extent that parents are the ones who are paying for the music and they're downloading, you should at least know what it is you're allowing your kids to listen to. Because sometimes, and we kind of talk about this and joke about this, I have the benefit of having somebody who's been in the music industry all these years, and I can go to him and say, hey, well, what is this exactly? But I found that I really was lacking in that area. I myself was not paying enough attention to what some of these lyrics were.
I'm cutting her off, but we were talking about a particular song, and I told her about it. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I sing this song every day, and never, it never registered to me that the song is about getting high all the time, even though that's literally the chorus. But it's so catchy, that you just kind of sing along. It wasn't until she saw the video. So
exactly,
we have fun with this at the same time. It's a serious topic, but we have fun. We interview people, we play clips of music. And, I'm hoping people will connect with and let us know, what you think.
Well, I think that's great. And, it's a good point, because it used to be, we talk about our generation, we had to go to the record store and get it. And sometimes it's like getting the money, and maybe mom and dad took us down there to the record store so they would see what was in our hands there. But nowadays, with the internet, it's so easy, even if whether you give them an account or not, just to go ahead and pull. And you could even they could even listen to something on YouTube that you don't even know. I mean, it's just out crazy.
Absolutely.
So that's fascinating. Again, Parents in the Mix.
Right.
This is a show that gives the opportunity for you as a parent to get a better understanding of the music that your kids are listening to. Billy and Ebony Johnson. Now, this is available as a podcast on our website, hometownstation.com, and we wish you the best and continued success with
Thank
this.
you.
This is very, very good talk about music all day.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
If I could just add, please visit us on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram at Parents in the Mix. We love to get your feedback. Thank you so much.
Outstanding. All right, time is 8:19. We'll be back with more after this.